Hi everyone, and welcome to the University of Toronto's Public Health and Preventive Medicine Residency Program information session. My name is Nico Shepard-Jones. I am fourth year resident and current chief resident, and alongside our program director, Dr. Barry Pecos, and our associate program director, Dr. Anya Norum, I'm really excited to share some of the basics around our amazing program. Before we begin, we wish to acknowledge this land on which the University of Toronto operates. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and most recently, the Mississaugas of the Credit. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we're grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. Over to you, Barry.
Our specialty, public health and preventive medicine, means a lot of different things to a lot of people, especially now in the time of COVID, and it's my pleasure to be able to present it to you today. So the specific objectives of our specialty program are that PHPM is a unique and challenging and rewarding medical specialty. Our focus is on the health of the population rather than just individuals, and our work includes protecting the health and preventing illness among individuals, families, communities, and populations while promoting health as well. And this includes focusing on the social determinants of health and promoting health equity. And while we train our residents for associate medical officer of health, medical officer of health roles, there are many different roles that our specialists can take in their careers. Here are some examples of different roles that our graduates have taken on. The ones in the circles are the ones that I'm doing currently, and we can do many of these things at the same time, fortunately. Those include roles in the public sector, which include as a medical officer of health at the regional or local level or territorial or provincial level. In the private sector, so some of our graduates have gone on to work in pharmaceutical companies, in public health consulting, or in academia at universities, whether teaching, research, or in an education role like program directors. In non-governmental organizations, starting NGOs or working as researchers associated with NGOs, leadership, and leadership within other community organizations. And then some of our graduates do part-time or even full-time clinical work where they do community-oriented practice. Some focus on one specific area like travel medicine or sexual health. Others go on and do an additional year in occupational health and develop their specialty role in that area. And many work in family practice, several in emergency medicine as well. One of the greatest strengths of our program is our wonderful colleagues, and this is a slide from our 40th anniversary celebration. Our program started in 1976, and the inaugural program director is in that picture there on the left. And many of the graduates of our program that you can see here are the public health leaders in many jurisdictions in Canada, as well as internationally. And it's great to have many of them as faculty and certainly many of them as alumni as part of our big PHPM U of T community. Our resident community is also very warm and welcoming, and here's a couple of shots of some both social events here as well as in the upper right corner there are part of our media training. One of the strengths as well is our diverse field sites, many of which are included here. Public Health Ontario, our provincial public health agency, as well as local public health organizations like York Region, Toronto Public Health, Simcoe Muskoka, Middlesex London. We have residents who go federally to the Public Health Agency of Canada, as well as internationally to the World Health Organization. And we have faculty members and alumni in many different organizations around the country, including in Nunavut, over out west in Island Health. And whether it's part of our core rotations or in electives, our residents are able to avail themselves of the training at any of these sites. Our program is a 5-year residency program accredited by the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons. And of course, as you may know, the bonus of our program or our specialty is that you get 5-year Royal College accreditation as well as your family medicine designation, as well as usually getting a graduate degree. So the goal of our program overall is to prepare our trainees to be local medical officers of health. But as I noted earlier, PHPM specialists can work in many different career areas. One that I didn't mention yet is an increasing role for our specialists in health system development and health system leadership. We also, of course, support our trainees to get formal certification in their CCFP exam, and then to have opportunities to enhance their knowledge and skills in areas of public health through electives during their clinical training. As I noted, our program is unique. It is the largest in Canada. If you include all of our residents, our faculty, many different subspecialties that we can support. Other unique elements are the rotations that we have. We have a senior management rotation that we've recently redone as a leadership consolidation and management rotation, where our residents act as an AMOH or an AMOH role, taking on both content and leadership roles. We require the completion of family medicine training, and we are flexible in terms of graduate sites to meet the residents' needs and interests, as long as they adhere to the Royal College standards. As I noted, by the end of your training, you get the CCFP, an MPH or equivalent graduate degree, and your Royal College fellowship. And so it's a great pathway, and each one of those milestones is a really important element of our program. Our academic half day is a great opportunity for us to get together, and it's the most important part of our formal learning in the program. It's held every Friday morning from 8:30 to 12. It includes topic of the week, which is the first hour with resident-led cases. Then we have rounds, which are themed on a 2-year cycle. And then we have field notes, which is our program business updates and practice questions to prepare for the Royal College exams. Medical students have the opportunity to attend our academic half days when they are on electives. During COVID times now, we've made some adjustments to make sure that medical students can attend some sessions, even if they are not on elective with us, just to get a sense of our program and our specialty. Another great thing about our program is our special events. We have a research day in the fall, showcasing research from residents and from faculty and augmenting our skills and knowledge in scholarly activity. We have a media day in collaboration with Ryerson Journalism School, where we do often television and radio media with some of the graduate students at Ryerson. It's a terrific day that everyone enjoys. We have a career day along with our graduation, where we hear from some of our alumni or other public health specialists in terms of their career trajectory and learn from those. We have field visits to various sites, including most recently water treatment facility, coroner's office, and others. And we have resident retreat and annual general meeting for the residents to get together, discuss program issues, as well as focus on their own wellness. The structure of our program has these 3 components to it. The first 2 years in clinical family medicine, where residents are part of can choose where they want to be as part of the family medicine match. The 3rd year of the program includes a public health systems and practice rotation, which is sort of an intro to public health practice. And then residents go on to their academic training. And then the final 2 years rather, is public health field core rotations in various areas, including communicable diseases, environmental health, the leadership management consolidation rotation, policy, health promotion, and several other areas. The curriculum throughout includes academic half day when residents are able to join in the first 3 years, and then every Friday morning in years 4 and 5. We also have courses at U of T that some of our residents who want to augment their skills are able to avail themselves of, as well as exam preparation prior to the Royal College exams at the end of your PGY 5 year. There are leadership opportunities throughout training, including most significantly chief resident opportunities and participation in committees throughout the program.
So my name is Dr. Anya Norum. I am the Associate Program Director for the Residency Program. Very discussed our very great partnership with the Department of Family and Community Medicine that provides the family medicine training. And so the first 2 years, as he mentioned, are in family medicine. And the family medicine department here at U of T is the largest, I believe, in the country. 14 family medicine teaching sites, and really quite a large diversity of clinical experiences that are available to residents here, and options for areas of focused training are also broad family medicine, as well as a lot of leadership opportunities in primary care research. For our residents, there are, of course, opportunities for what we call clinical public health electives. So electives that are really focused on population health or health equity that we work with the Department of Family and Community Medicine to develop. We're still continuing to work on that work. But overall, if you want more information about the Department of Family and Community Medicine, then we recommend that you go to their website. But certainly we work closely with them to provide a positive experience to our residents in first and second year. So one of the things that certainly comes up is preparing for CARMS. And as mentioned earlier, that we are in the COVID-19 pandemic context. So CARMS is a little bit different for the 2021 academic year, but I will provide information of also what occurs under standard situations as well. So overall, whether you are watching this or tuning in during, the part of our lives that is quite consumed by the COVID-19 pandemic, or afterwards, where we kind of go to a new normal, I highly recommend that you go to the website to look at our program description and the most up-to-date information. But I will provide some highlights. So a common question that we often get is if application to the Department of Family and Community Medicine, a separate application is required when applying to our program. You are welcome to apply to the Department of Family and Community Medicine as an entirely separate process, but if you are applying to our program, which includes the Department of Family and Community Medicine, they are involved in our selection process. It's all one, you could say one package per se, but there are certainly people who decide to apply to both as two different programs. For our program in public health and preventive medicine, candidates need to demonstrate that they can successfully complete the family medicine component. As described, it is required for our program, really that they can excel in the academic year. So having particularly the requirements of the Royal College with regards to epidemiology and biostatistics, and then 2 years of public health field training, which Dr. Barry Pecos described already. Now, when it comes to electives, we really do encourage diverse electives. This has always been the case, but prior to COVID-19, we required one elective in a public health organization as an absolute requirement. We have waived this because of the constraints that have been created by the pandemic, but this will be an expectation once people can resume regular electives. As well, because of the elective piece, we've also waived the letter from a PHPM specialist, but we do encourage applicants to find somebody to write the reference letter who does know about the field of public health and preventive medicine, or the field of public health wherever possible. And we've also waived the family medicine elective requirement for similar reasons, but it will be reinstated once we return back to normal elective context. So some common questions that we receive in this field is that some people are curious about the benefits of doing the 5 years Royal College specialty of public health and preventive medicine compared to doing 2 years of family medicine with an MPH. And so one thing to consider as the first question is if you are interested in becoming a medical officer of health, or somebody who basically works in a public health organization. For somebody who is engaged in the first bullet there, public health practice, where you're in a public health organization, whether it's local, provincial, territorial, or federal, then it is highly recommended and pretty straightforward that you do the 5-year residency program, because it's difficult to do it without the PHPM training. It's possible in certain underserved regions, but essentially legislation and general practice expectations are that one would have the PHPM training. Now, for the person who wants to do more clinical work or population health issue focused practice, so really looking, like for instance, myself, I do work around Black population health. That's an area of interest of mine. There are people who do work that is focused on very specific populations, for instance, addictions and population health. Then that becomes an issue of deciding if during the 5 years is helpful to you. And it really depends on the person. But most people who go this route, like myself, usually do some clinical and some research, or might work as a consultant or teach. And so it's possible to do that without the 5-year training, but really I would say that the 5-year training gives you the credibility, the competencies, and the network to address population health outcomes based on those 5 years of training, of really having the opportunity to put that knowledge into practice beyond, doing the family medicine with the MPH. It really puts you in the environment where you can learn those skills and make those relationships that might be useful in your own work. So talk to people and find out if it's right for you. Another common question is the elective piece. So as mentioned, we've waived the elective requirement, but normally we require 1 elective at a public health organization. We require usually, or most recently, requiring the elective in family medicine. And overall, with our public health electives, what happens is they're usually 2 to 4 weeks in duration. People get an orientation to the field and the organization. And really, we encourage people to try to align their experiences based on their interests. So the process is usually we have people fill out a form to let us know what they are most interested in. And we try to find a match. As described previously, when somebody is on elective, they are invited to attend our academic half day on Friday mornings. So all of this is a bit different due to COVID-19 context, but I wanted you folks to have the kind of standard information for when things return back to baseline. Okay, and now I'm going to hand it over to our chief.
Thank you both for that wonderful overview. If you want to learn more about our awesome specialty, be sure to check out the Public Health Physicians of Canada and Royal College Public Health and Preventive Medicine Residency Objectives web pages. And if you want to learn more about our program here at U of T, we have our very own website, which is listed on this slide. And we invite you, of course, to also check out the CARMS program description page. We do have a Twitter handle, and we are on Facebook, so make sure to check us out on those platforms as well. And finally, you can contact our program director, associate program director, myself, or the chief, and of course, our wonderful program coordinator, Katrina Chu, at these email addresses listed here. And with that, that's it, folks. We hope that was helpful and that we further inspired you to join our awesome program and more generally the dynamic and unique field of public health and preventive medicine. Thank you so much for your interest and for tuning in, and take care now. All the best.